Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of really interesting bodybuilding updates. The first one is about Krizo at 2 weeks out, guys, out of the New York Pro. So yeah, this year we got the New York Pro first and then the Pittsburgh Pro a week later, and we got our current physique update from Krizo, and I think it's probably safe to say that he is gonna be in the top 2. I don't see anybody else battling it against Tonio Burton for the win. And I mean, looking at his photos right here, it's hard for me to imagine that anybody can beat him at this show. I mean, look at this most muscular right here. He looks insane right here. He is shredded. He is hard. He's very lean, and that's 2 weeks out. And Krizo is always lean, so he's gonna be peeled out of his mind for the show, so that's really not an issue for this guy. But he also looks big and full. Does he look improved? I wouldn't say so. I don't see any massive improvements, but does he need to improve? I mean, what he needs to improve is posing, really. As far as the physique, he's got enough muscle at this point. I mean, he can't change his structure, like his waist probably can't be any smaller, and like the shape of his back and certain body parts could be better, but he can't change that. What he can change is overall muscularity, and I think he did improve the amount of muscle he has in his back. That was an issue, kinda, and he improved that, and also his glutes. His glutes are much better. We won't see them here in this video right here, but we can see him from the front hitting his best shot, most muscular. So he's not showing us any weak poses. He's giving us his most muscular and side chest as well. Take a look at this, man. Take a look at this. How freaky this actually is. This is looking insane. This side chest here and the most muscular. I mean, it's really hard for me to imagine that anybody can surpass this. I know Tonio is very, very complete, but is he this good? Is he gonna be this impressive? The thing is, Krizo is tall also. Like, he's about Samson's height, and Tonio is a former 212 bodybuilder, so he's short. He also has kind of narrow shoulders. But, you know, size never stopped Dexter Jackson from beating guys like even Big Ramy, when Big Ramy was at his best, basically, when he was very, very good. Dexter was beating him, an old Dexter. Not Dexter in his 30s, but Dexter in his mid-40s. So, and also they call Tonio Burton like the new Dexter. So, I don't know if Krizo can beat Tonio, because Tonio is so compact, so complete. He has this crazy fullness, crazy 3D. And again, all of the poses are spot on. Krizo has some weaknesses. Some of his poses are not that great, but he has some killer shots, like the freaking most muscular. Like, this is gonna be insane. Probably impossible for Tonio to surpass Krizo at. And the side chest, I mean, this side chest here looks insane. I mean, I'm saying Krizo didn't progress because I don't see any, like, difference in his physique. Like, I don't see any different proportions. But I don't know if he looked this freaky, this crazy last year. So I'm pretty sure he improved as well. Only we can't really see it. I mean, I can't see it in this video here, right here. It's just a gym video. You know, we have to wait to see him on the stage hitting all the poses to see how much better is he. But Krizo is not exactly known for having a very productive off seasons, right? So he takes it easy in the off season, and he pushes the gear and everything hard in the prep, and he progresses as much as he progresses, but he usually does make some progress. So we can expect him to be at least like 10% better, maybe even more than that. In which areas, I don't know, but maybe overall, he's going to be like, he's going to have more quality, if that's even a possibility, because I don't know if there is another open bodybuilder today with better quality of the muscle. Like, he has those Wesley Whistler's striations in the shoulders. You know, everything looks like he's an alien. And I don't think he ever used any SEO. I don't think he's site injecting a lot. You know, he looks very, very clean. Very, very extremely clean physique. So I love his physique because of that. I don't love the structure, but the cleanness of the physique, if that's the word, it looks good. Like, he has that really nice look to the muscle. So he's a freak, he's conditioned, he's big, he has some killer shots. So it's a possibility. It's very possible he can actually win the New York Pro. But we're going to see soon, guys, in only 2 weeks. All right, the next thing we got is something from Blessing Avoribu. And Blessing Avoribu is prepping for the Arnold Classic Brazil. Now, I saw this video that Blessing posted, and the first thing that popped to my eyes was Fuad Abiad's comment. And he says, "Wow, this is the best version of you. Great job, man." And I was thinking, what the hell is Fuad smoking? How can this be the best version of Blessing? Like, we all can see that his legs are melted, that his waist was blown out, that he has all these asymmetries, his arms are kind of atrophied, and this and that. So many little things about his physique that are gone wrong. And then I went back and I checked his best look. That would be when he won his New York Pro. And I think it is pretty noticeable that his waist was smaller, that overall he looked more fresh, like his physique had more pop. It didn't look rugged. You couldn't see a lot of the deformities or asymmetries and stuff like that. It all looked like a young and fresh physique, right? The legs were an issue even back then, but they were only small. It didn't look like something weird was done to them. They were just smaller. But overall, his physique had really nice flow. And 2021, 2022, those were, in my opinion, his best looks back then. But let's see if Fuad is actually right. Is this Blessing's all-time best right now? Well, it does look pretty freaky. Like, he does have a lot of muscle now. The backside looks crazy. The legs actually do look fuller now and bigger than before. He can pull a vacuum, and when he does, his waist does look smaller, but that's not the reality. He won't be able to keep the vacuum the whole time on the stage, so the waist is gonna be significantly bigger. And also you can see that his biceps are looking really weird at this point. I don't know why is that. I have a pretty good guess. I don't know if I should get into it, but yeah, let's do it. So when you inject a lot of gear or whatever kind of oil in your muscle, and especially if you do it in your biceps, which is a small body part, and a lot of guys do this. If you do this over the course of years and you do it a lot, you're going to create necrosis from piercing the muscle with a big needle every day or every third day. So at one point, the muscle is going to start to die off. And when that happens, it's going to get smaller. What you do to bring it back, you inject more and more oil. So he's maintaining the fullness of the muscle, the size, but it just started to look really weird and strange. And, that's something you usually see with these bodybuilders when they get a little bit older. So I would say size-wise and conditioning-wise, Fuad might be right. But overall, if you look at the freshness of the physique, I don't like this big waist and these asymmetries and so on. The legs do look bigger for sure, but they also look the shape looks kind of weird to me as well. And again, it's because the waist, I can't really say this is his best. I would still go with a 2022 New York Pro. I think that was his best look. That and Indy Pro that he won that year. He won 2 shows in a row. And I'm not sure if his legs were better then or now, or they were small then, and they're pretty small now today as well. But I think he was way more fresh, and his conditioning was also really good. So, yeah, I would go with the New York Pro. But Fuad, even though I think he's wrong, he's not that far off. Not as far off as I thought he was. But whatever you guys think, tell me down below in the comments. All right, the next thing we got is a little bit of something from Nick Walker. And no, I'm not going to make this the main story because that would be a 3rd video about Nick Walker in a row. However, guys, I'm sorry, but I have to mention this because I gotta say, I love what Nick Walker is doing. He's the freakiest guy of the day, and he's actually showing us his physique very frequently, all the time. And I love this. he's giving us a freaking freak show every single day on Instagram, especially when he's in shape. But even when he's not, he's always in shape, let's be real. But even when he's in the off season, he does post a lot of content still because he looks freaky in the off season because he's always in shape. Like I said, he gets heavier than this, but this is what he looks like right now in his post-show rebound, reverse dieting. Since the New York Pro is only in 2 weeks and Pittsburgh is in 3, at the weight of 280, I doubt he's going to compete. Do I still think he can compete and look not his best, but good enough to win those 2 shows? Yeah, I absolutely do think that, but is he willing to go through another prep, even if it's a short one, and risk leaving the last impression, worse than the Arnold Classic? You're only as good as your last show, and if he shows up at the New York and the Pittsburgh at like 90% conditioned, that's what we're all gonna remember. So I'm pretty sure he won't do it because he won't do a half-ass prep. But what I wanted to point out again is what he looks like right here in this side chest, man. Absolutely nuts. And also here in the most muscular, this is looking crazy. Crazy, man. Look at the fullness in the chest. And then the freaking arms and the delts, the overall hardness and fullness. This is just, I'm not going to put this in the thumbnail to clickbait you guys or whatever, but I had to mention it because if this guy is giving us this awesome content, showing us his insane physique every day, I think he deserves a place in every single video of mine, every day. I don't mind it. I don't mind talking about this every single day. I don't know if you guys mind hearing about it. Maybe you're bored by it. Personally, I'm not. I think this deserves a lot of attention because it's so freaky, man. It's so freaky. All right, and the last thing we got is a little bit of something that sparked some online debate. So this podcast right here, English One podcast, posted a couple of clips of a podcast with Stefan Kienzl. And Stefan Kienzl is saying something rather controversial. And I don't know what to think about it, guys, because it's weird what he's saying.
What about the insulin in your season?
I never used. I think insulin was one of the biggest problems why bodybuilding started to get ugly. It totally fucks up your digestion health. It totally fucks up your insulin sensitivity, something you need to grow properly. With insulin, you look incredible during training. You are full, you have that dense look that just looks incredible. No one of that people can transport that on stage.
I mean, I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to say. I don't want to make a whole video bashing Stefan Kienzl, but this caught me off guard. I did not expect him to be this ignorant. I'll just be honest. I see this a lot from many coaches who are not at a high level. When they don't know how to use a tool, they bash it. For example, they say diuretics are terrible. You're going to look better without any diuretics because they don't know how to implement them properly. You can take a little bit of diuretics and look phenomenal, not get too flat, or sometimes when you need a diuretic, it's going to be a helpful tool to use. You can't just eliminate one whole tool like that. Insulin, same story. I mean, what he's saying here is just nonsense. So stupid. I cannot believe that this guy is basically one of the top coaches. I don't know if he is anymore, to be honest, because there was a lot of fuss about his name for a while. Everybody hired him, and then one by one, they all dropped him. And you heard stories from guys, I don't know, like Brett Wilkin, like so many of them. They were all kind of disappointed. They doubted Stefan's decisions. I think he was just lucky enough that he got a couple of good guys at the beginning, like Urs, like Wesley, and I think Nathan Diasha. He did pretty well with them, and then everybody else went with him. And, sometimes he would nail it, but most of the times, I would say 70% of the times, he would fail it. Like, take a look at his best guys and the guys that he's working with for the longest. For example, Martin Fitzwater. How many times was Martin on? I mean, maybe once, twice. Let's say Detroit Pro and Prague Pro, and that's it probably. Most of the times he competed with Stefan Kienzl, he missed the peak, and for some reason Martin is staying with Stefan, maybe because Martin is making the mistakes himself, and I don't know, he needs somebody who believes in him, and I don't know, maybe he's loyal like that, I don't know, but obviously what he's doing with Martin is not really working that well. And I'm seeing the same things with a lot of his athletes. Now, what he's saying here in this video is, like, everybody who is using insulin in the off-season looks great in the off-season, full and everything, and then they can't transfer it to the stage. That might be correct, but does that mean that you're not going to make progress in the off-season and that you're going to mess up your digestion? How is insulin going to create insulin resistance? Maybe it will if you're doing it the wrong way, if you're just using a lot of insulin and covering it up with a whole bunch of sugar. Then you can make a problem. But if you're already eating a ton of carbs and then you take insulin to help your body absorb the food and let some stress off your pancreas and beta cells, then it's a good thing. It's going to do the exact opposite thing. And I don't know how Stefan doesn't know this, a coach at that level. So many guys made a ton of progress, guys, a ton of progress in the off-season just because they used insulin. For some people, it helps a little bit here and there. You might get a better pump during the training if you take like 5 IUs with your intra-workout shake and, maybe a little bit 3 IUs with some of your meals, big carb meals. But some guys who have to eat over like 1,000 grams of carbs a day, they can definitely use this tool to absorb all that food and not torture their bodies. But again, you got to use it properly. Also, like if you're using a lot of GH and your blood sugar is high, you can take some slow-acting insulin or even some fast-acting to lower it, to actually help you with your insulin sensitivity. So obviously, Stefan doesn't know how to use insulin, or he's speaking in general terms, but he knows how to use something. I don't know if he's speaking the truth, whatever he's talking about, but this is just nonsense. And we've seen a backlash basically from some other coaches online. First of all, we got Krizo here saying, why am I in the video? I never used insulin. I don't know if Michal never used insulin. He also spoke about how he never used Synthol. I can see that he never used Synthol, but as far as insulin, I doubt that, honestly, guys. I think everybody's pretty much using it. Why would they not? Maybe if Krizo's coach doesn't know a lot about insulin and these protocols. So we got a comment from Dom Supersliced here. And this is a very, very knowledgeable coach. A coach that never got as good of a marketing as Stefan Kienzl. Stefan is very entertaining. He kind of he became popular on podcasts and so on. He has good social media presence. Dom is not super interesting. I tried to watch some of his podcasts. He's kind of boring, I'll be honest, but extremely knowledgeable. If you want, just dry knowledge, you can get it from him. But if you want to be entertained, you watch Stefan Kienzl. So what Dom says here is, I am not trying to start drama, too late. He says, but I will say that this is 100% not true. Exogenous insulin by itself, it does not ruin insulin sensitivity and digestion. I agree. If anything, in the off-season, especially if you're pushing higher amounts of AGH, when it's used correctly, it's going to do the opposite. What I said exactly. The argument you can make is that if people in the off-season are using high amounts of insulin in combination with an insane amount of food to offset it, then yeah, you have a higher risk of blowing your waistline out. I swear to you guys, I did not read this comment first. I'm reading it for the first time right now, and I absolutely agree with this. This is exactly right. We also got a comment from Milos Sarcev, expectedly, right? Somebody tagged Milos and said, I keep saying this, Milos Sarcev is always bitching about stomachs and insulin protocols are what's causing them. And he says, is it? I only used insulin for the last 10 years of my career, read thousands of shots, competed 72 times as a pro. Was I ever out of shape or having stomach issues? Never, guys, never. I mean, Milos is a perfect example of that. And I know plenty of guys personally who are using it and who are classic guys with perfect midsections. No digestion issues. I don't know. It's stupid to even go over this, but yeah, I mean, we got another coach here, Armand. You probably know about him as well. And he says, everyone rushed to this guy like he had some secret formula. I said from the beginning, people would slowly fall off when he couldn't consistently dial clients in, and that's exactly what happened. This post doesn't even make sense. That's it. I've been coaching for over 20 years. I've seen this cycle over and over. Certain coaches blow up, get popular for a minute, then people realize there is no secret. It comes down to solid knowledge, attention to detail, and actually knowing how to prep clients the right way. This is something I agree with completely. I had my doubts about Stefan Kienzl, but I mean, I'm basing this whole opinion about him only on one short video. Maybe he was trying to generalize this whole thing so the kids don't use a lot of like young classy guys don't use a lot of insulin. I don't know. I mean, if you're a top level coach, you don't speak nonsense like this. I don't care what his idea was, why he said this, but what he said is completely not true, doesn't make any sense, and that's my opinion on this, guys. If you disagree with me, you can tell me down below, but if you need my help to prep you for your show or to guide you in your off-season to put on a ton of size, and yes, I know how to implement insulin properly without messing up your digestion or getting you to have diabetes. That's not gonna happen if you use it properly. I can help you with that, guys. Again, if you need my help, DM it, even bodybuilding on Instagram. It's not even bodybuilding coaching anymore, just even bodybuilding _. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you soon. All the best and bye-bye.